What's going on, guys? Welcome to Moulton's Mind and Body. I am your host, Jeff Moulton. I'd like to welcome you back to the podcast for today. We have a special episode today. We have our first guest on. He's someone that I go way back with, about 4 to 5 years now. We originally met at Springfield College. He's born and raised originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut, now living in Shelton. He is doing his he did his bachelor's in health education. He's currently doing his master's program at Springfield College in health promotion and disease prevention and overall public health. He's honestly someone that I've looked up to for a while. He's one of the most positive people I've met. When you're on campus, he's the person that's greeting everybody, smile always on his face, and someone that, I think just getting to know has made me a better person. And so I just like to welcome now to the podcast, Lou Gomes.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me. And we've been talking about this for a while, so it's good to be finally here and getting this thing rolling. So.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I've been looking forward to it. It's been something we've been talking about, like you said, for months, and it's just a matter of timing, getting back to classes and school, and it's been fun, and I'm excited to kind of have it on and let everyone kind of hear your story. I think you've been someone that, like I said, has inspired me, and I think you can inspire a lot of people with your story, and I think it'll be something great. So we're going to get started. So if you don't mind kind of telling everyone, can you just give me a little background, tell me a little about yourself, and kind of what led you to honestly being here today?
Yeah, so, 23 years old. My name's Lou Gomes, as you said. 23 years old, born with cerebral palsy. It's something I was born with, but it doesn't stop me. I don't look at it as a disadvantage. It's an advantage, and it's definitely taught me many lessons in life. And while there are some challenges that I do face from time to time, challenges make life interesting. And if you're not being challenged, you're not growing as a person. So that's sort of my mindset.
No, that's great. And, you said there were some challenges growing up with it. For someone who doesn't know, do you mind just telling me a little about kind of what cerebral palsy is, and also kind of some of the challenges that you faced, from, I know you said you were diagnosed right as you were born with it. So growing up as a kid, kind of now growing up, going through the school system and getting to where you are, which honestly is an awesome accomplishment. And it just goes to the mindset you've had. So
yeah,
if you don't mind just explaining a little bit about that.
Yeah, so cerebral palsy is a condition that affects a person's neurological functioning. It can affect people in many different ways. There's many different types. So it's really on a case-by-case basis. It can be very, very severe. It can be very, very mild. Mine, thankfully, is not super severe, but I wouldn't consider it to be mild as well. It's sort of that midline between the two. Like I said, it's been a blessing, to be honest, and I'm gonna get into that as we progress. But yeah, so like I said, it affects people in different ways. It's mostly increased muscle tone, muscle weakness. It's non-progressive, but if you don't continue to grow, continue to work hard, and continue to take care of your body physically and both with nutrition and lifestyle, it'll obviously get tough. So, man.
No, that's awesome. So, with that being said, so there's a cool, really story that I heard a while back, and it has to do with you and cerebral palsy and kind of the symptoms and things that were happening with it. And you and your family went to France.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, how old were you when that happened? And if you don't mind telling that story, I just think it's an awesome story. That if you don't mind just explaining kind of that.
Yeah, so up to that point, my muscle control, my balance, things like that, they were really affected. I walked with a walker all the way up till I was 5 years old. So kindergarten up to that point, and it was in 2001, actually, right before 9/11, unfortunately. So I was in France during on that day. But from there, the properties of healing that are known and believed to be in the holy water in the grotto of France. My parents heard about it. We are religious, Roman Catholic, and we took a trip there, and we went to a mass there. After the ceremony, they were doing a blessing of healing. So they blessed me in the holy water within an hour. Got back to the hotel room or family's house. I don't remember which one it was, but I was sitting on the couch, and normally I had my walker right next to me because obviously that's what I used to use to get around, and had to get up to go to the restroom or grab something to drink or do something. And I stood up and took my first steps using my fingertips on the wall, and from there the sky's been the limit, and I haven't stopped. You know, one of my favorite movies of all time is Miracle.
Good movie.
I think Disney produced it, but yeah, it's about the 1980 U.S. hockey team and how they overcame obstacles. And at the end, the famous call from Al Michaels, "Do you believe in miracles?" You know, to answer that question, I certainly do. You know, anything can happen, and just life is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yeah, there's that.
It's honestly an amazing story, and it's I don't know if you knew this about me. So, and when you said that, and I heard the story, and I actually didn't know this till the other day when I saw the video that you guys put out.
Yeah.
And something cool about it. So my grandfather was a deacon, and he's actually been there multiple times.
Oh, wow.
And what was cool about it is he actually, you know, in the area where the healing going on, bless mothers and all this stuff. My grandfather had a lot of things. With basically, he's met the Pope, went down, and all these things, and he's actually had a bunch of stuff buried in the area, like pictures of us and things like that, just and I think the big reason of doing a lot of that, he buried a lot of like our pictures of family members, his family members, and just trying to have like to basically have, I don't know if it's like healthy long life.
Yeah.
But it was cool hearing the story because I brought it up with my dad, and he was explaining all the stories about my grandfather going down there, so it kind of hit home to me when I heard that, so it was really cool.
That's fantastic, and you know, it's been a special moment that I sort of remember. I've always had like a very, very good telegraphic memory. Like growing up, you'd be surprised of the stuff I remember. I don't remember what I did, you know, 2 days ago sometimes, but I can remember what I did 10, 15 years ago when I was 4 or 5 years old. You know, it's definitely a good thing because you know, a lot of people when they're younger, they don't really remember, you know, the fun moments and, you know, just growing up. But I've been sort of blessed with that talent, that ability to do that. So it's, you know, definitely one of the perks.
Yeah, and it's great, and I mean, it kind of shows like what the most important moments in your life, and like you said, a lot of people don't remember a lot of those things, so it benefits you in that aspect. You get to remember all these great things that have happened to you. And how old did you say when this actually happened, when you went to France?
So I was 5.
It was 5. Okay, so kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay, so which is crazy. You remember it that vividly. It was that big of a transformational moment.
Definitely.
So
yeah, actually, I still remember like the water was so cold.
Really?
That I was like, all I remember was either the priest or the deacon. They picked me up, dip me in the water, quick dip.
Yeah.
It was frigid.
Sure.
I remember just screaming bloody murder.
Right.
Didn't really know what was going on. I mean, I knew he was I knew it was the holy water that I was going into, but it was cold, man. I mean, and the people that are you know, watching, and people that know me, and people that don't, I don't do well in cold at all.
Sure.
So just to be thrown right into it, you know, cold turkey, for the lack of a better term, yeah, it was interesting.
So it was worth it at this point.
Yeah,
it was worth going in the cold water.
Looking back on it, just Michael Phelps dive right in.
Right, there you go.
If I ever get the next opportunity.
There you go. You just didn't get the gold medal, but it was worth it.
Exactly. I need 7 more to be up with Michael. So
there you go. We'll work towards that.
Shout out to you, Michael. Coming for 9 medals.
There you go. Love it. That's awesome. So take a step back a little bit. So we told that story, awesome story. Kind of, so I brought up in the intro a little bit. So you went to Springfield College, still are at Springfield College.
Yep.
What was like kind of the reason, or like was there a specific reason that you ended up going to Springfield, and kind of what led you to the career choices that you're making now, or at least that you want to be? I know you brought up to me you wanted to be, you know, a PE teacher.
Yeah.
You wanted to be in, you know, physical education.
Yeah.
If you don't mind explaining kind of why you went to Springfield, and then kind of what led you to where you wanted to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had Springfield on my radar. It's always been a really, really school that I've sort of stuck out to me. Back in 6th grade, because I was working out with a physical therapist who's actually an alum from Springfield. And shout out to Competitive Edge, Jim. Thanks for all you've done.
There you go.
And so I was training with him, and you know, he knew that my personality would fit there. At the time, I was a big John Cena fanatic, so I'd come into train with my toy championship belt. And,
Yeah.
and then he just he kept telling me the great things about Springfield, and he over the years he was like, you're definitely a good fit for Springfield. So I kept it in the back of my mind. I started looking stuff up online about the school, and then it came time for high school and applying for colleges, and I applied to Springfield, got here on campus, and it felt like home, and I've been here ever since. And as far as like my career choice and what I would like to do, so I started off actually as a phys ed and health ed major. So my main goal was to become a phys ed teacher at the time, and I loved it. I've had many great physical education teachers throughout my life, and I wanted to do that. It was a passion of mine. And then, as I said before, my journey and where I've been has taught me many life lessons, the reality of certain things, and I was busting my tail in my classes, doing really well academically, but physically, the first 2 years, I was doing my physical education classes, like the actual applied teaching, and physically it was just taking a toll on me. So I had to pull the reins back, and sit back and figure this out. While I wanted to go into phys ed right away and health, I was like, I have a passion for both of these areas. So I need to really look back at myself, and I need to see what is gonna be feasible and be reasonable. Because while I may be in my prime and young and hungry at this point, I'm gonna get older, obviously, and all of our bodies, we don't they don't work the same. Challenges get in the way. So I really had to put that in front of me and figure things out. So I as much as I loved phys ed, I didn't give up on it. I just put it in my back pocket type of thing, because I still have a passion for it. And at the time, I had people telling me that I should just give it up altogether, and I could understand that they were looking out for the better interest of my career and what I could do as a phys ed teacher. But I had one particular professor. I took an exceptional children education class, and while everyone was telling me to just put it aside and just forget about it, this person really just inspired me to keep moving forward. And I'm getting a little emotional talking about it, but it's all right. So they really told me to put it aside, and they really allowed me to see my potential as a future educator. Because at the time, right around the time I met you, I was thinking about just not being a teacher anymore. Because while I wasn't letting the negativity and the suggestions get to me, I really had to think about it. Once you start hearing things, and once it's out out in front of you, you really start to process it, and it can really start to make that change. But like I said, I'd go into this class every day, and I would be just inspired to keep going. And like you said, I'd bring a smile every day, and it really moved the people around me in that class to continue to pursue their goals. So to that person, to that professor, I don't have words to thank them for continuing to believe in me, and just to really push me and inspire me to keep on going, regardless of the obstacles. And that impact helped me through my undergrad as a student teacher, when because I went through and I got my bachelor's in health education. But yeah, that impact just helped me through the whole process. And yeah, like I said, it's truly amazing when people come into your lives at certain times, because they come at certain times without you even knowing it, but it's for a reason. So just thank you for that. And yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. I mean, it's crazy when you get these people that come into your life at moments you don't really expect it to.
Yeah.
And have someone like that kind of make a huge impact, because obviously he's doing his job and he loves what he does, but I'm sure at the moment he doesn't realize what kind of impact he's making.
Yeah.
On someone.
Like I said, she's someone that I still keep in contact with.
Yeah.
And like I said.
So she knows now.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And
that's great.
I've got a couple other goals in the works as well. And like I said, just meeting people along the way, and I've met many people in my life that I'm going to be talking about before the end of this podcast.
Sure.
Between coaches, my two coaches over at Fighting Arts Academy. Fighting Arts Academy CT. Once we get into the wrestling aspect of this podcast.
Yeah. Which I know it's something you're passionate about.
Absolutely, they've been phenomenal. I've met them along the way, and they're truly two of my best friends, but two of the best coaches that I've ever had. So shout out to Nick, Coach Nick, and Coach Ryan. Without you guys, my wrestling wouldn't be where it is today, and truly, you guys helped me as a person. You followed my whole journey to being successful in wrestling on the mat, but also in life. I'm going to be talking about getting my driver's license and things like that. And I'm mentioning these now so I don't forget to talk about them. Just Springfield College in general, and just every avenue that I've been on in life has really helped me to meet some of the most fantastic people. Just want to give out a special shout out to one of my best friends, Kim, back home. I know you're watching and listening. Thank you for everything you've done. I've told you that many times, but like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today without the people in my life. And there's going to be many more shout outs along the way. Hope you don't mind, Jeff.
No, it's good.
But, yeah, so just thank you, man, and thank you, everyone. This journey has been fun. It's been great, and wouldn't have it any other way. So
I love it. I think to anyone to be successful, you have to realize at a certain point that you can't do it on your own. There's going to be so many people along the way, and I think there's a lot of people that are struggling, mentally, and there's a lot of pressure nowadays to be successful and do all these things, and there's high expectations, and I know way too many people that wake up on a daily basis and they're in a very negative spot or negative mindset. So the question I have, kind of off of what you said, because you said it really well, is do you have any, or if you could give a tip to someone or some advice to someone that's worked for you, maybe, because like you said, you wake up every morning, even maybe you're not in a good mood at all times, but you're smiling, you're happy. What would you, if there's any advice you could give to someone that is struggling, in the morning, getting up and maybe isn't doing what they want, or maybe they're struggling to kind of just go day by day? Is there anything you could kind of give them?
Yeah. I mean, simply put, one, if it's really bothering you, if it's something that you really need to talk about, talk to someone. But as far as just getting up and feeling, not good and tired and sore and not happy, takes the same amount, and this is going to sound kind of just really not blunt, but
Truth.
Just the reality of it. You're going to spend the same amount of energy making a plan as you are a list of excuses, and that's sort of what I tell myself. I can sit here and think, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that, oh, it's going to be so hard, but I'm just going to be drained, and I'm going to be just tired, and then I'm really not going to want to do it. So you wake up and you spend that energy, spend that time just making a plan. If you got to take it slow, it doesn't matter how slow you have to take it. If you want to move fast, that's cool too, but like I said, you're gonna spend the same amount of energy making a plan as you are excuses. And obviously the plan, that can open many paths. The excuses, they can open paths too, but I prefer the planned path, because like I said, it's gonna move you forward.
Sure.
So yeah, no excuses, and like I said, if it's a matter of needing to talk to someone, do that. There's many people in this world that are willing to help you. There's many people in the world that are here for you and are there for you that you may not even realize. So just reach out, and if you're having a bad day and someone else sees that, they may be having a bad day as well. But and how you handle that, how you deal with that, can definitely inspire them and help them sort of move forward. So while you may be helping yourself by getting up and doing what you need to do every morning, you can very, very well be helping someone else. So just take life for what it is. Every day is a new opportunity. Every day is a new wrestling match to sort of wrestle through. And you're not always going to be on top. You're not always going to score, and you're not always going to win. But you know what? Taking what happened yesterday into the next day isn't helping anyone. And just move forward and enjoy life for what it is. Life is all about the ups and downs. Just positive mindset. Enjoy the journey, because, like I said, this journey is a special one for everyone. We all have our own journeys. We all have avenues that we're going to be taking. Some that we plan, and some that we don't plan. I personally think that the avenue that I've taken, there's been ups and there's been downs, but it's led me to meeting some of the greatest people in my life. I've plenty of college friends that have truly been, they say you go to college and you meet some of your best friends of your life. As I mentioned, one of my best friends, Kim, and then I also have one of my very, very close friends, and I refer to everyone as best friend because they truly are. The impact that they've had on me just needs to be expressed, needs to be told, and needs to be just, they need to know that. So I met one of my really, really good friends in college who was in the teaching program with me, and Sean Mahoney. Thank you for everything you do, man. And he really helped me through that tough time of thinking about what I was going to do for a career. There was one night where I was just really, really discouraged, and I loved what I was doing, and I was so passionate about it, and that's what was really not upsetting me, but really motivating me and not allowing me to sort of sit back and think about it. And I still remember the day he drove down, and I got a text. I was in the library, and it said, "Meet you on the 3rd floor." And I was like, "Meet you on the 3rd floor?" So he showed up and sat there for an hour, and we talked, and we went through the lesson plans, and we figured things out. And that day itself sort of resonates with me has resonated with me since the day, and it's something that I cherish, and he's been like a brother to me. So
That's awesome. And I think you made so many good points, and I see so eye to eye on so much of that from when first thing you wake up in the morning and spending the time and energy on things that you can control. I think that the idea of you only can control so much, and you can't control it. You can't control a lot, but you control how you react to everything. You know what I mean? And I think what you've done very well, and it's because of the positive mindset you have, is you built like a family and community of people around you to help you grow, and I think that's just a testament to the type of person you are. And I think if you can, and if people can just day by day just put one foot in front of the other, be positive. You don't want to like fake things, but you want sometimes you don't just wake up one day and you're happy. It takes time and it takes work, and you have to slowly day by day kind of grow and improve yourself, and then eventually that will come. Yeah. But I think it's a big part of that is it's a testament what you said is doing it day in and day out, surrounding yourself with the right people, being very positive, and trying to focus on the positive things you can control.
Absolutely. And being around these positive people. And like I said, I don't want this podcast to turn into just a big shout out of people, but
hey,
it's been part of the journey. Like I said, people, my friends, my family, my support system have been one of the biggest assets in my life. And it's because of them that I continue to let them know how impactful they have been, simply because if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be where I am today. But it's kind of weird to say, but like one of my biggest fears growing up has always been like, not losing, but not really staying connected with these strong people, and they've become such a big part of my life that I never want to lose them, and I never want them to know, I never want them to forget how impactful they've been, because like I said, as people, as humans, we impact people without even knowing it, and it truly, they're a testament to that, because I'm one of those people that gets really just, I'm quick to create bonds and really get to know someone. I'm not one of those people that focuses solely on what I see on the exterior, what I see on the outside. When I meet someone, I accept them, and I for lack of a better term, I love them for who they are on the inside and who they are as a person, because whether they know it or not, from that first interaction, they create an impact on me. They always say that line of making a first impression, you only have one. It's fascinating to how quickly and how awesome a bond can form, and just it's super just great to know and great to feel.
Yeah, and I think you're right on the money, man. And I think I want to give, you're giving all these shout outs to people and different things like that. I want to kind of give a shout out to you, because if we go back about 4 years and things like that, it's funny because we, like you said, met in your freshman year around that time. And I was in, I'm a transfer student, so different age, but we had a very similar mentality on a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And, me going into it, we used to talk about when I was doing my bodybuilding competitions and things like that. And you were probably one, if not one of the most supportive people during the situation, and we barely knew each other.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think we connected on a level of like we understood like a lot of the mindset stuff and positivity, and you reaching out, a few messages here and there every few weeks. Like I was doing the videos, which a lot of people didn't support because it can be awkward to doing these videos walking around campus. But you understood like it was a way to me to document things, and you were pushing me to get better in my journey. And I think that's what you've done with a lot of people is like, and I think that's why you've built such a family of people that, I think you don't realize how much you've impacted them. I know you talked about how much, they've impacted you, but I think, all these things that you do, and you've done it with me, I think it's just an awesome thing. And I urge you to keep doing it, because I think you're impacting a ton of people. And from the story on this podcast to the little messages of like, keep crushing it, and this is a perfect time to lead into the next part. And it's something you've been saying for a long time now, and it's been your phrase, never give up, right? Mm-hmm. You talked about never giving up, and if you don't mind starting with just what does that mean to you, and why, I know you have it tattooed on you now, so yeah. It's been something that you've been all in and believed in, so I just want you can let everyone know like what that means to you and why that phrase, never give up.
Yeah, so it's like on my chest now, and I've been trying. I can't get it off.
Right?
It's just like stuck there. Yeah. It's like not going anywhere. I'm kidding, guys. I love the tattoo for what it is. But the meaning just, it started. I don't even know. I mean, it's always been. Before it was a motto, it was just part of my life. I credit that to my parents first off. They, rightfully so. Before I even knew what the words "never give up" meant, they've taken such a unique approach to handling the fact that I was born with cerebral palsy, because there's two ways that people tend to deal with it. They can see it as a negative, as a problem, but my parents definitely have instilled that in me. They never told me that everything was going to be easy, and oh yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and it's going to be sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky Balboa put it. But They told me the way it is. First off, they never gave up on me. They have done everything under the sun to help me get to where I am physically, and just grow as a person. And when I set goals, they know I'm gonna achieve them, because of the way that I've sort of grown up, and it's because of them that I am able to sit here and tell you about all these things. But around the time of, after the miracle in 2001, from there I knew that, there was a purpose for that happening. Yeah, being able to walk without my walker, that's cool, that's functional, but there's a bigger purpose, because I personally believe that I walked with a walker up to that point because, God and I was being prepared to get strong enough in order to take that next step, to be a part of that next chapter, and to move forward with that. But never give up has sort of been something that I've sort of embodied throughout my life, because, like I said, or like I didn't say, but I'm going to say now, like you probably know or don't know, the every day isn't easy. It's not. I'm smiling all the time, but I'm very, very critical of myself, and I always want improvement, and I'm always willing to push, and I always want more. And never give up has sort of been that motto and that lifestyle choice that I've taken, because while things get tough, you can still do them, and I don't let one obstacle get in my way. I don't let multiple obstacles get in my way. When I set on a journey, I have to finish it. I have to finish it. I don't care how long it takes me. I've done some speaking along the way over the past couple of years, and one thing I remember saying in one of my speeches, and my coaches Ryan and Nick pointed it out to me actually. They said, I love what you said when you emphasized the fact that if people aren't doubting you, the goal's not big enough. I don't get discouraged. I don't get, angry. I love when people tell me I can't do something, because I'm gonna do it either way. You can tell me I'm gonna be great at something. That's awesome. I love the support to that. But telling me that, I can't be, physical education, teaching is gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for everyone. We're all gonna hit times when things are tough. But I don't let that stop me from stopping me from achieving my goals, because I've worked too hard to set my goals in order to have them sort of, dwindle away or get pushed off to the side. And it's, whether that be physically, socially, professionally, whatever it may be, I am gonna continue to move forward with the support of my team and my family, as you put it, that including both friends and family. But like I said, never give up. It's just something that I live by. On the great days, I'm thankful for the positive things, but on the not so great days, I think of the fact that there's good days and then there's great days, and the great days are the days that are tough, because they help you grow. They help you grow as a person. They help you grow toward the goal. If you woke up one day and set a goal and you got it by tomorrow or the next day, what fun would that be? You want to go through the ups and downs. You want to climb. You want to fall. You want to build your base, as they say in wrestling. Build your base. Get those hips away. Get that one. Get that escape that obstacle. And never give up has helped me in every aspect of my life, and I wanted to get it tattooed on my right above my heart. So I got that tattooed actually 2 days before my license test, my driving test, and that took 7 years to get done. So I got Never Give Up tattooed on my chest that I look at every day, and I look at that every day in the mirror, and it gives me a reason to sort of smile even more in the morning. And what makes it even more meaningful is the fact that I knew I wanted to never give up tattooed on me at some point, and one of the main reasons why is because of my parents and my family and my extended support system that have helped me get to where I am today and pave that way for me. And I was thinking about the font, and if you go on Google and you pick a font, that's cool. But I sat down one day and I was like, I'm not going to get this tattoo until I really feel that I can get that font that really, really sticks out to me. And what better way to do that than have my parents scribe out the words, never give up, both of them. So that tattoo is now tattooed on above my heart in my parents' handwriting, because I know that they'll always be the originators of the motto, and having it in their handwriting just makes it much more meaningful, especially being away from school. I talk to my parents every day, obviously, but looking down every morning and seeing the handwriting just means so much more. And yeah, I mean, at first, they think everyone says, "Oh, get a tattoo that you're gonna love, and that it's gonna be really, really meaningful for you." Definitely hit the spot there. So, yeah.
That's awesome, and I think it's if more people can start to live by that, I think that they're going to be better off in the long run. Just because it's easy to get down on yourself, it's easy to think the world's coming crashing down, and something you said that I think a lot about, which is just people in general, and how a lot of people are going to doubt you. They don't think things are realistic. People. They want to take the secure route, the more comfortable route, but going down that road that isn't realistic is going to lead you to, an uncomfortable place, but that's when you're growing. When you're uncomfortable, that's when you're taking steps to better yourself. You may fail, but you're going to learn a lot more than taking that cozy road down. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I want to go into something we brought up a few times already. Perfect tail in with never give up is your wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you've loved wrestling for a while. If you don't mind telling me and telling everybody else, is when did you get into wrestling? Why do you love it so much? And just kind of a little background on that.
Yeah. So I got into wrestling. I started wrestling in high school, but I started watching. Actually, funny. We talked about it earlier, but I watched my one of my current coaches now. My coach Nick, and I watched him compete, and I was like, you know what, I can do this, because he's a phenomenal coach and a phenomenal athlete and phenomenal person. So I started that, and at that point I was looking for a sport that I could really, really compete in. I couldn't swim because at the time the muscle tone and the things that come along with CP, that wasn't an option. I may look like Michael Phelps, but I'm not the next Michael Phelps. I may have his ears, but
You had me fooled, man.
that's about it. But another thing, I was 118 pounds in high school. I'm sinking to the bottom. If I can't keep myself up on that water, I'm gonna sink. So I was looking for a sport, and wrestling just sort of caught my eye, and I didn't make the team my first 3 years, but that's okay. I didn't stop. I set my mind on something, and it honestly has been a staple to my life. It's been one of my biggest passions. I don't think there's a conversation or a moment in the day that I don't talk about the sport, and when I'm not talking about it, I'm definitely thinking about it. It just teaches you so many different lessons in life: hard work, persistence, never giving up. And I think there was a college coach, Olympic coach, I think it was either Dan Gable or one of those big wrestling names. They said, you'll learn a million lessons in wrestling. The last lesson you'll learn when you step into a wrestling room is how to wrestle. So I took that to heart, and freshman year, like I said, didn't make the team, but I became a team manager. It was good to be around the sport because I didn't know anything about it at that point. I had never wrestled before. So watching the sport, being in the room every day, it was cool for a little while, but I knew that I wanted to be out on the mat. I knew that I could be successful. You know, I knew that it would be tough, but like I said, I've been there before, and the sport of wrestling just once I started wrestling, I would go to the gym, and working out was great. It's cool, like it makes you strong. But for me, once I got that taste of wrestling and being on that mat, nothing else sort of, equaled that. You know, I step up. I can go to the gym for 2 hours, and yeah, get a workout in. Feel good after. But wrestling, everything around me just shuts off, and I'm able to just. It's that even playing field.
Yep.
And I don't really like that term, but it really just made me feel that I can put my practice and my love of being passionate about sports, because I've always been a big fan of sports. I've always watched my cousins and my sister growing up playing sports, and at every family party growing up, I'd always be doing something, running around the yard, playing football, playing baseball, and wrestling was that opportunity for me, was that outlet, and it truly it took off from there. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit with that. So freshman year didn't make the team. Sophomore year I was like, you know what, I'm going to manage again, but I'm not going to stop training. I was in the gym. I was doing my push-ups, doing my bicep curls, and then junior year they had open workouts, like open off-season workouts, where we do battle ropes and pulling ropes and throwing tires and things like that. And I was like, you know what, this is my outlet, because while I can't get on the mat yet, you bet that I'm gonna get on the mat. And like I said, I'm so glad that I stuck with it, because it truly changed my life, and it opened up so many more avenues that I'm gonna continue to speak about. And I've been around the sport for almost 9 to 10 years now, and like I said, it's brought me so much joy, so much happiness, and I've gotten I'm not national qualifier, state champion, any of that, but I've fallen in love with the sport, and I have made tremendous gains. My senior year, I wrestled at 120 pounds, weighed in, like I said, at 118 all year, and I wrestled at that weight. Did a bunch of tournaments for the JV team, but I didn't care. I didn't have to be varsity. I wanted to get out there. I lost all 20 of my matches senior year, and then like I said, I met my coaches, Nick and Ryan, and I've been training with them over at Fighting Arts Academy, CT, ever since. And from there, we've just taken off, and we've gotten so much stronger on the mat, and they have totally seen a new potential in me as a wrestler and as a person, and we've been able to make some strides and really adapt my style. And after training with them for a while, we had I saw an open tournament over the summer, and I knew that I had the best coaches around me and the best teammates. So I was like, you know what, let me talk to them. Let's see if this is a possibility. I hadn't wrestled. I hadn't competed in 8 years, and I was like, you know what, or 4 years. What? One of those two. One of those 4 multiples.
Let's go by 4s.
4, 8, 12. It'll be 16 at some point.
16 years. Yeah.
I'm gonna be wrestling till my body can't wrestle anymore.
There you go.
So I did an open tournament, and ended up wrestling the best match of my life. Lost by 3 points. The score was 10-7. Not that the score matters, but I opened my eyes, and they opened my eyes, that within the next 2 years, we're bringing that first win home. So, after that tournament, I was 1-22. So I'm foreshadowing a little bit. 0-22. We're gonna be 1-22, don't you?
There you go.
But 0-22, and lost 22 matches. But since that day, I've been keeping in contact with them. They've been motivating me, and I've been going home every once in a while to get back in the gym with them. And I can't wait to be back in there over the summer and as soon as I can get in there, because like I said, Ryan and Nick, you've helped me like tremendously. That I've said 3 times on this podcast already, but I'll continue to say it. You've opened up so much potential and so much faith and confidence in myself in order to get out there. So I know for a fact that we're just going to keep on grinding and we're going to bring that win home. And like I said, when I've wrestled, a lot of my opponents, they don't, I feel like they don't, warm up the same, or oh yeah, I'm going to wrestle him. It's going to be good. He's going to get an opportunity. But I don't. That doesn't bother me. I focus on what I have to focus on. During the last tournament, it was like a 2-hour wait between weigh-ins and my first match, because I got to buy the first round, which means that you just in the bracket you just go on to the next round, because there's no one to wrestle. So I was bouncing around for the whole 2 hours. I was in the hallway. I was in just staying warm. I had my music in. I was confident, and I had a sweat going before I even stepped out on the mat, and it shows. And it's because of my fantastic coaches that I was able to score 7 points for the first time in my career and in my life. And it's one of the reasons why, with 10 seconds left, I almost hit a move that we had been working on in the room. And it sort of eats at me since that day, because I'm not making excuses, and it's a way that sort of puts it in perspective. That I was very, very close to getting that first win, and I'm not ready to stop. I'm gonna get the first win, and then I'm gonna get the next one, and I'm just gonna continue working toward that. And yeah, we're bringing some fireworks, and as we say in the gym, Wu-Tang Clan is coming at you. Again, shout out Nick and Ryan for that one.
Yep.
And FAA all day. That's the something we always say as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I think it's funny, you said so many great things. And yep. And I think the big thing for me is for you is when you said that, like, you're 0-22. So, you're 0-22, but that being said, like, your mindset hasn't changed at all in that thing. I guarantee, you see people lose a match here and there. It can be very disappointing. It can put them down. You went 0-22, and you're still working on, what can I do better? How can I improve? How can I do this? How can I get to the next win? And I think, that mindset as a whole is unbelievable. The fact that you're that driven still and motivated more than ever to get that first win. And I just think that's something, if someone could, I think people have failing one time to I wouldn't even say to fail, you lost, but in a mindset, a lot of people can take that as a failure. 22 times and be more motivated than ever to get that win. That's just something awesome.
I've been doing this sport for, like I said, almost 10 years, and outside of wrestling, off the mat, I've got some of the best friends that have helped me grow in the gym, grow as an athlete, and just really, really have helped me center my training to go to add on to what we've sort of acquired on the mat and in the sport. So shout out to Carolyn, one of my really, really good friends. She's going to be the best future physical therapist out there. We got a workout in yesterday, and all of it was simulated around, snap downs in wrestling, and just changing, direction changes and being pushed around and sort of, getting thrown off balance. And the ideas and the things that she has come up with along the way have truly been phenomenal. And I know I tell you that all the time. tell her that all the time. But you truly are going to be a phenomenal physical therapist, and I've had a lot of great physical therapists in my life, and the field of physical therapy is going to be quite all right, because in the times that I've worked out with her, and the way that she has helped me and sort of pushed me to reach my full potential in that aspect, sort of mimics and replicates what so many other fascinating professionals have done for me. So shout out to you. Shout out to one of my roommates in college, Mike, for helping me as well with Carolyn to master my squat and squat for the first time. So that's been phenomenal. So shout out to them. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do that, and we've got some really cool stuff brewing. And another person that comes to mind who also showed up to the match, who drove hours out to watch the match over the summer. Shout out to one of my greatest friends, Summer. So I'm sure you know Summer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Summer Barnes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
No.
shout out to you, Summer. Thank you for being a ray of sunshine and a light like so many others have been. So I just want you to know that you are fantastic as well. So yeah.
Perfect. So we're starting to close down a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. I want to talk about a few more things, and I kind of want to I want to talk a little bit about some of your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You brought it a little bit earlier on, and with kind of your goals moving forward. So at this point, we talked about your wrestling, we talked about your school, we talked about a lot of different things that are going on with you. So if you don't mind me asking, is kind of, and you can share as many as you like, is kind of what are your current, school goals or educational goals, career goals, and then kind of maybe some of your wrestling goals, or just if you want to talk about some of your goals that you think about on a daily basis that you're trying to get to. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my biggest goals that I've sort of achieved last year, but I want to build on it, is just building on my driving. I've driven. I just got my license, and I drive with modified hand controls, so I've just got that. But the gaps from going to school and from back home, they obviously put gaps in the driving. If you're not doing it every day, it's not hard to sort of revive and sort of get back to, but it is a little bit challenging. So I want to focus on that. I want to do that. Other goals, I want to finish my master's degree, go back into teaching. I want to teach health at the middle school level. I love kids, but the elementary level was tough because I'm a nice guy. When a child is smiling at me because they're happy to be in my class, and they're talking, I don't have the heart to tell them that they need to sit down and we'll talk later. But so I want to go back into teaching, teach at the middle school level. I also want to coach, preferably be an assistant coach at some point, just because my style in wrestling is so unique that I feel like with time it's going to take me some time to be able to acquire all the general moves that I haven't been able to need to modify in order to help the greater good of a full team. So being an assistant coach is definitely a big one. Another one of my goals is to write a book. I've been dreaming about writing this book for years. Freshman year of high school, I started drafting this thing, and it's gone from 10 pages to 0 pages because I thought it was bad, my young self. And then we're at 50 pages right now, and we're gonna get this book done within the next couple years. My goal is to get the wrestling win this summer, 1-22, as I said before. We're bringing it home, and then from there get the book out. And if motivational speaking opens up and I'm able to travel and talk to people just as much as I enjoy doing here, that'd be fantastic. That'd be cool. That'd be a dream come true. It wouldn't just be cool. But get my word out. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go into teaching, I just wanted to mention that before we conclude, is because a lot of the times I think one of the reasons why people are having such a hard time with oh, I don't know how you're going to do as a teacher, is because there are many phenomenal teachers out there, but I think a lot of times we don't see many teachers with, physical challenges or whatever it may be, and if there's nothing wrong with that. You have to be passionate about things, but beyond teaching content, I want my classroom to be centered around never give up, and I want my students to walk into my classroom, specifically be ready to work, and when they're having a bad day, when they're having a tough day, I want them, I don't want them to, admire me necessarily, because being an inspiration is cool, but, it's not my goal to be called an inspiration, but I want them to know that, I'm here to support them, and while they may be having a tough time, a tough day, they're not gonna be left alone, and they're full of potential, and yeah, and like while I wasn't certified in special education, my dream as a teacher, this is the first time I'm really sharing this, is that I want a student with a challenge, whatever that may be, to walk into my classroom, because a lot of the times I feel like you walk in, and I remember feeling this way in elementary school. You walk in and you're like, oh, what's the students gonna, think of me, how they gonna look at me, type of approach, and I want them to feel empowered. I want them to be able to reach for the sky, and I want them to see that, you can get to that top, and the top being, me as the teacher, and that they are fully capable of achieving their dreams, and they're no different than anyone else. So yeah, that's my overall goal. Like I said, as teachers, we have a job, and we have an objective to teach content and to help them matriculate into later years of school. But beyond that, we a lot in positive videos we hear, like, what's your why? So that's my why overall. So yeah.
No, I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people will definitely take a lot out of this, just from you, and just what you can give, and how much positive energy you put out there, and just the amount of good things you're doing right now. And I think you're a great example of for anybody what you're really capable of, what you put your mind to something, having setbacks and coming back from those, and just someone that everyone can look up to. So the last question I want to ask you is kind of something I want to start doing, I think, with a lot of our guests, and kind of is a little open, but if you could give, I'm going to let you go in any direction you want to go in this. It's kind of, if you could give a piece of advice to anyone, and just how to, be successful, or just how to improve their life, what would your first reaction to that be?
First reaction would probably be, one, never give up. Surprise there.
There it is.
Other than that, just embrace the journey. Like I said, surround yourselves with people. Don't be afraid to take chances. Like things are gonna be tough. You're gonna get down on yourself. It's okay. Like there's this thing that, oh, you can't break down. Sometimes you need that break. You need to be broken down in order to build yourself back up. So my message to everyone is just to be confident, be thankful, and honestly, write your goals down. Since July, I've been writing, I will win a wrestling match at 2019 Nutmegs. Yeah, long line, right? All those words. I have a notebook. There's 26 lines on a page every day. Those pages get filled. 1 page per day. 26 lines saying the same thing, because I'm writing it, I'm speaking it. Reach out to people. Surround yourself with people. One of my biggest pet peeves for myself is just being alone. I hate being alone. I'm a very, very social guy. I can't stand being alone. Even if it's like eating a meal alone. People are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go eat alone because I need me time. My me time is when I'm sleeping. I get enough of that. There's 8 hours of sleep in the night. Surround yourself with people. Just embrace people around you, and just smile. Like I said before, your smile may not be just it may be tough to shine, but you have an opportunity that someone else is dreaming of, and so just smile, laugh a lot, because they say laughing adds seconds to your life. So laugh a lot, and just feel empowered, feel ready to go, and like I said, never give up, drive forward, wrestle through, and just conquer every single day.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
All right, Lou. Well, I want to thank you for having you on the podcast, man.
The pleasure is all mine. Honestly, I love sharing things like this. I love sharing my story. So thank you, Jeff, for having me on, and I hope to I hope to be on future podcasts. And I mean, like I said, it's been an honor.
No, I appreciate it, man. So I look forward to seeing what you have to do, hitting those goals. So I look forward to sitting in one of your classes one day.
Absolutely.
I look forward to bringing you on when you got your book written.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of good things coming. Again, everyone, I just want to give a little shout out too. If anyone wants to kind of follow your journey, what you're doing, is there anywhere on social media anyone can follow you or anything along those lines?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm a big Instagram guy. I was the guy that said I'd never use Instagram, and now I never not use Instagram. So Instagram at SweetLou1117, SWEETLU, not LOU, LU1117, all together. And my page says never give up on it. So if you find that, I'll be there, and I post a lot of stuff. May post too much sometimes, but there's never too much. So yeah, if you want to follow me there, feel free. And guys, just keep living life, keep smiling, and never ever give up.
All right, guys. All right, awesome. So go follow him, check out his Instagram, and make sure you follow his journey. He's someone that I think everyone can look up to and learn a lot from. So remember, guys, never give up.
1 and 22 coming at us. So this will probably be. I'll definitely be going live with that match. So if you want to follow me, you got till July to choose to. If you don't want,
we'll get him on tomorrow. We'll get him on today.
Sounds
Go follow
good.
Lou. All right, guys, have a good one, and never give up. Perfect.
Crushed it.
Nice job, brother.
Thanks, brother.
All
I
right.
literally hit all the platforms.
We did. It was an hour and 2 minutes.
That's awesome.
All right.
I made a list of everyone in my head that I had to shout out.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I'm gonna save this right now so it doesn't.
And
go
this lasted pretty well.
Yeah, I got it all here.